It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward, and you're watching the Making Star Wars show. It's the 4th of July, and I got my buddy Thrawn Kill here.
Hey, how's it going?
It's got the, what is your podcast called exactly, so I don't say it wrong?
It's the Thrawn Talk podcast.
Thrawn Talk podcast.
I used to be called the Kanji Club podcast back in the day, and then up until just probably the beginning of the year, and then so I changed it because I'm flying solo.
Doing it solo style.
Yeah. Out in the outer rim.
Right? Yeah, so it's the 4th of July over here. Mark Hamilton showed up and said, as a foreigner in the U.S., who cares not for nationalism, I've been kicking back reading Vader comics and watching CW outtakes, Clone Wars outtakes. My kids are with their mother, so it's me time. That's nice.
Oh yeah, look, the Vader one right there. There you go.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, you got. Oh wow, that Marvel comic with the Vader, and I used to have all of those. I love that one. Yeah.
Right on, Mark Hamilton.
Yeah, I miss having like the vintage Star Wars Marvel collection. As a kid, there was I had a neighbor, and no joke, he looked like LL Cool J. He looked like LL Cool J. He wore the bucket hat. He had like the Adidas outfit on.
Three-stripe in it? Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, he would throw down box, things on the floor and break dance. The dude, he was cool, but he would always come up to me and he always be like, "What are you slinging?" And I would just be like, "I don't know what that means." And then he explained it to me. And so we struck a deal. And this deal was I gave him a Nintendo Power Glove.
Oh.
And I got the first 12 Star Wars action figures and all 107 Marvel comics.
Oh my god, that's actually a pretty sweet deal.
That is an awesome deal. And so while I throughout the years sold off those comics, and I regret it. I mean, it was like in college, got to do what you got to do kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I always have to remind myself, you got all of that from a Nintendo Power Glove. It's so bad. Have you seen The Wizard?
Oh, of course, man.
Wizard, man.
That's one of the 80s classics.
Yeah, me and Randy, like in the early 2000s, when we were playing in bands in LA, we played with a group of people, and the girl from that is in Riley Kiley, and we went to In and Out with her one night, and it was I like her music too. It's good, but I was still just starstruck by the fact that it was the girl from The Wizard. You know what I mean? That was just like I don't really care too much about meeting a lot of people, but that one's a weird one where I'm just like, but it was the kid from The Wizard. Like, come on, man. I mean, it wasn't Fred Savage, but
that what's that new the Lindas or something like that that's down there, the little girl band?
Yeah.
Another podcast I listened to, one of the producers, that's like his aunt, that's his niece or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, they got signed to Epitaph Records, dude.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. As a kid, I used to follow a band called the Muffs, which I
know the Muffs.
Yeah, they were from Fullerton. They're just like right over here. So we used to always see them, and they got big with the Kids in America song cover on the Clueless soundtrack.
Kids in America.
Yeah, they did the cover of that one. But the Linda Lindas do a cover of, I think, maybe Big Mouth, one of their songs, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. I hope they're like a real band. Like, I say that like are they writing their own stuff and everything?
Yeah, they have, I think, at least 12 songs that are like their songs, and plus a couple of the covers that I've heard one or two of them. But they have enough to where Epitaph and those guys believe in them to sign them.
That's rad. Yeah. Because I remember, like, back in the day, the Adonis were kind of like that same thing, but then it turned out that they were sort of a music project of some dude or something. I don't remember all of that.
In a way, yeah. And then like I do love a lot some of their stuff, though. I mean, I can't lie. But.
Yeah, no, same. But yeah, it makes me miss 1990s Star Wars stuff. Like I actually became I don't want to say friends with the Muffs. I think that would be overstating the relationship, you know, but known acquaintances with memory of who each other was. And it was because I had this Darth Vader shirt like 1994, and it was like one of the only Star Wars shirts you can get. It was like a Vader's head, and it was blue. It didn't say anything on it. It was just Darth Vader, not unlike the comic book that you have in the background right there, but just his head. And it was blue, and and Ronnie from the Muffs was like, dude, I love your shirt. And I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, we're going to get a Snapple because we're teenagers. He's like, I want to go get a Snapple. I was like, okay. We went and got a Snapple, and then after that he'd just be like, what's up, guys? But Star Wars is the pathway to many abilities one would consider to be socially unnatural.
Socially and maybe, wow.
What's up, Dale? How's it going, dude? But yeah, so like today is just a weird one. I wanted to hang out with my buddy Thrawn, and I wanted to just see what you guys were up to. I took the kids swimming today, so hopefully I have a little bit of time today, and they don't come and bombard me like Ewoks on Han Solo like they do sometimes. It's funny. I mean, I don't really make anything off of YouTube, so it doesn't matter. But it cracks me up because if the kid just steps in the frame, demonetized.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we say or whatever. They're just like demonetized.
No more. No.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And then, so anyways, hey, the Bearded Trio's here. Happy 4th of July, dude.
Yeah, we didn't get blown up. There's no spaceships over us today.
Right? God, yeah. He's making me remember like around this time about 10 years ago, Mark from Twitter. What's his name? Sweetmeats? Does he still go by Sweetmeats?
Or
Griddle Mark.
Griddle Marks. Griddle Marks. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, we went and saw John. We went and saw John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl around this. It wasn't on the 4th, but it was like maybe the week of. And that was nice. And I missed doing that. And with COVID and Williams, I don't know if there's going to be another chance.
Probably not. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I miss it. Was cool. You bring your wine and your cheese and your dumb little basket, and you show up, and John Williams plays music, and you almost feel like you understand what's going on. Like you're fancy. Like, I know the word leitmotif, and I'm drinking a wine from 2011.
This brie is outstanding.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's a horrible wine. You're pairing it wrong. And John Williams is just like, it's hot out here.
It's like, when can I go home?
Yeah. I want to. I'm hoping though I get one more chance to see him. I think the last time I saw John Williams was probably at Celebration 2017 when they did. Was that the 40th? Yeah, that would have been the 40th. It was when they had that 40th surprise, and he just kind of came out and did his little chopsticks, his little chopsticks. That's what me and JW call it, just chopsticks. And then I'm like, hey, how you doing, JW? What are you out there writing right now? And he's like, Indiana Jones. I'm like, are you doing okay? He's like, well, Harrison got his shoulder hurt, so I wrote this song in B minor called "My Shoulder Hurts." Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but yeah, man, I do miss going to the Hollywood Bowl though. Hopefully, if he does it, we gotta go.
Now, is that the place where you can stand and they call it tree people if they stand all the way at the back?
I don't know.
Like I heard that like when Neil Diamond was playing there, and it was like a recording, and he was like playing live, and it's like, because he was gonna do "Oh Caroline" or "Sweet Caroline," and he's like, and this is all for you tree people out there in the back, because apparently for free you can stand there by the trees in the back.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that having been possible at one time, and I do. God, this might be a false memory. I feel like I was somewhere in the hills going to a party one time, and we went on a hike, and Radiohead was playing, and we could see Radiohead down there. But I saw Queen there one time, but with Paul Rogers, so it kind of barely counts. But it was terrible. I mean, I also saw them at the Honda Center, and it was good because they would do songs without Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
So you're just like, watching Brian May from Queen playing acoustic guitar and sing his song, and you're like, this is cool. This is
I,
like
li-
what it
I
would have been like.
yeah, this is better.
Better than
This is
nothing,
exactly
considering
true.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did I did like an article at one point for StarWars.com, and it was accepted, and it was on Star Wars and Queen. And I had done like really good research on it, and because I was such a Queen fan and such a Star Wars fan, I knew all
Yeah.
these esoteric quotes from random interviews from Cream magazine in 1979 and stuff. And yeah, like about like Queen going and like buying a copy of Star Wars that they would watch while they played their pinball machines in the studio, like before like VHS and stuff. And like, you'll hear because of Bicycle Race, like, Jaws was never my scene and I don't like Star Wars. Well, turns out Brian May's a big nerd. There's a picture of him with these giant statues,
Mm-hmm.
like Star Wars, like brass statues that he bought for like 10 grand each.
So that's why they didn't say no to Flash Gordon then.
Yeah. Brian May. I mean, and Brian May did Starfleet. Like it was like his first solo project. That Queen movie makes me laugh because they're all like, Freddie's doing a solo record. Oh my God, the band is over. Meanwhile, in reality, everyone in that band had a solo record before Freddie Mercury. But yeah, he did a song called Starfleet with Eddie Van Halen, and it was like a cover of that Japanese show, that Japanese like
Okay.
Starfleet show. But anyways, I think it was called Starfleet, something like that. But yeah, but they were largely into it, and Freddie would get on Darth Vader's shoulders, which was like my avatar on the internet for like 20 years practically, and he would ride around on Darth Vader's shoulders at shows. Eventually, Lucasfilm got wind of this when it was going to be on the Queen Fan Club magazine cover, and they were
Oh,
like, "You can't do that. You can't put Darth Vader on your magazine cover without asking us." So they went and when that Queen magazine cover showed up, they put a sticker over it, and they also started swapping out Superman for Darth Vader on the live shows somewhere like around that. I don't know if it was because of that exactly now from memory, but I
that is
love,
weird.
yeah, I love. Oh wait, what did Beatrice? I live 10 miles from Rockfield Studios where Queen recorded Bohemian Rhapsody. Whoa, really?
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to that other place in Germany where they recorded, like where they have the Freddy statue. One of these
Oh,
days I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
make it out there. Is the Rockfield Studios, is it like completely just like a private studio kind of situation, or do they do tours? Like, can you show up there? Because I mean, that would be cool. One of these days I want to make it out there. Like, I have all of these friends and sources in the Star Wars thing that are always like, come out here. I'll take you around and show you like all of the places that we filmed outside of Pine. I'll show you right in Black Park where we filmed that race scene with where Luke knocks Luke down and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need to get out there. So I'm like considering it. And then we
Mm-hmm.
had this last year where you can't travel anywhere. My
Exactly.
kids are finally almost big enough that I could do that kind of stuff. Like, hey, I'm gonna go away for a week, and they'll be like, okay,
Yeah. Why don't you go
But
away longer, Dad?
yeah, why don't you get out of here, Dad? I mean, I'm glad that my kids love me, but they love me too much because I can't get out of it. They're already opening the door. I'm like, no.
I know the
So
other one. He's in the other room watching something. Probably watching the Fairly Odd Parents.
yeah. We a while ago we were down at the Mando set, right?
Yeah.
And your boy was there with us. Do you remember what was there the day that you were there? I don't remember what's there certain days now.
Well, it was mostly kind of all put away, but it was stuff for the planet, for that dark planet with all the dark sand and the dead trees. I think for Ahsoka,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then the interior of the village for that episode too.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think.
all of those black trees were out there. Somebody a while ago brought me a bunch of stories that were going around where somebody had visited there. And they're like, look, Ahsoka's going to be in this show and that show and this show. The truth is those trees, they were out there that day or for that time. They got moved over to where they were when you were there, and
Yeah.
they are just still there. So I
No.
don't know. So it can mean a lot of different things. It could mean that we are going to see that planet again in one of the Ahsoka shows or one of the other shows, or it could simply mean that they made really cool. Is the word foliage for
I think
it?
it's foliage more.
Foliage, yeah, and that if they are going to use that again,
They,
in some way.
I'm gonna say they probably already have redressed it at one point and used it. We just haven't noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I mean, it's still there. Like, it's still
Yeah.
there. Like, I'll put to the side. But a few years ago, when they were filming season 1 of Mando, the ATST episode, when they had that set up with the moat out there and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the day after Christmas, they went and they bought every Christmas tree, probably from a lot that wasn't sold.
So they
And they
could
just
populate that
stacked.
forest.
Yeah, they just were using it to like make things to fill in patches and as filament for trees, So okay,
Live action CGI.
so okay. Oh, there was a question. Oh, so happy 4th of July! Thank you. Even though this is an American day, the whole world is here, and that's cool.
Oh, Mikey Pappas, hey buddy.
So okay, wait. See, this always happens. Can you see the chat on your end or no?
Yeah, I can see the comments coming through. Yeah,
You can see it come up, but you can see them scrolling or no?
yeah, they're starting to
Okay,
scroll when they come
because
up.
they like jump up and then I lose. Like, I need to figure out a solution for this. Might be dual monitors,
Maybe.
but okay. So so Mark Hamilton says there's been quote scoops that Lars Mikkelsen is live action Thrawn for a bunch of sites. Any truth or just speculation?
I think it's
Yeah,
still speculation right now.
I think I'm not debunking anything, but as far as I know, speculation. I haven't on my end heard anything like concrete, like Thrawn is in this, or
Or he's in
uh
whatever else. Yeah.
or Rex is in this, and like that the Rebel stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff. Not saying it's not true, just saying I got
Because
nothing to add to
I mean,
that.
I can add a little bit because there's a gentleman I follow on Instagram who is himself put himself in the running for the casting of that.
Oh yeah?
So yeah, so there was a call for it, and so he's promoting himself on there. So yeah, they are somewhat they were possibly looking at one time, but I don't think now is.
See, like that kind of thing makes me wonder, because would they straight up say Thrawn? And once you put yourself in the running for something publicly and you're not a huge star, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
That usually
that's
makes
kind
them
of what
mad.
But I don't, like I said, he's not saying that he's going to be in it at all. But
Yeah, but he did a call for something and he thinks it's Thrawn.
pretty much,
Because if he did a call for something and he thinks it's Thrawn and then he said that, he definitely took himself out.
probably.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, it would. I do you think so? Are you like a huge Thrawn fan? I know it's called, but are you like is
Yes,
Thrawn like your boy kind of?
but it's more of a. I like his personality. I like
Mm-hmm.
his because he's kind of personality somewhat fits mine in a way. I like the way he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I don't. Luke Skywalker's more my boy and always has been and kind of will be. But uh, I've gravitated towards Thrawn because when I read the book back in the '90s, it was a guy who's different. That's now part of this universe. That people are like, "Why are you so different? But you're so good."
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of connected to that because I just felt like, uh, I was part of the Star Wars universe where I grew up, but that I was the only one. There wasn't a lot of kids that had Star Wars around me. So uh,
Right.
uh, finding reading the Thrawn book was like, oh, okay, now I'm into this. Now I'm a Star Wars person for the rest of my life
Yeah.
because I felt exactly how he felt.
Do you think that the Thrawn that we love from the novels and from the bits of like Rebels that we got, do you think he's going to be a clean transition, or do you think he'll have to change? That's what I always wonder about the character.
It'll have to change, I think, somewhat because you can't. it just seems that nowadays, any time that they try to canonically fit somebody into live action or interpret it into whatever their adaptation is you're going to lose something from the original character. You always will, because it's somebody else's new adaptation.
Right.
But like people talked about before with Patty Jenkins and other folks, and the handling of Wonder Woman and Rogue Squadron, we're just going to see. We have to really kind of see. We have to put our faith into these folks who have been making the art for us. And the other thing I can say is like, well, I'd have to make it myself. I can't be that much of a critic, other than making it myself. So I'm looking forward to somebody doing it, and I just hope that they do it correctly. It's that I could get behind. But for me, I've never been somebody who has to nitpick every little tiny detail of a character once it's adapted. A lot of times, if I see it finally adapted, I'm just happy to see it and enjoy the show.
Usually that's how I feel too, and I'm usually the same way about books. When a book is just turned into a film, it's like a book and a film aren't the same thing. It's not going if you can't just turn that into a movie and it's perfect. That said, like I'm having a fit about the Interview with the Vampire stuff personally. Just
I love those books. I just love those books. The Mummy's the best book out of all of them.
The Mummy was really good. They wrote a sequel like a year or two ago. It was really good too. That said, I think for Thrawn, it's going to take that the writers are writing that strategy, that chess playing mind, and it's not telling, but it's a lot of showing. And then the actors though is going to have to really like own that role, because if you don't believe, like if you get adult and you paint him blue and he's like. And he's just doing that stuff. It's not going to work. So
it has to be Christopher. Yeah, it's like you have to be Christopher Nolan with a Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
commitment, just flat out commitment, and we're doing this.
Yeah, and I hope when they do it, like I hope that the level of makeup. I don't feel like when George Lucas plays Papa Baranoida.
Oh God, yeah, that was just terrible. He looked like a blueberry.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's not like that. I'm hoping that there's like actually like some almost like Tim Curry and Legend, not a full out Satan, but like where they kind of like shape the brow a bit and stuff. I hope that there's a little bit of that to make it not as non-human as can be.
Like Nebula and some of the Marvel characters, the Kree.
Something. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like Michael Rooker's character in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because if they take it like to that place, I think he'll look cool.
Yeah,
and with, like,
I agree.
Red eyes and stuff, it'll translate. Because I was always nervous, like it's kind of weird right now because I'm like actually like looking out where I read the books originally right now, outside right there. And when I was 10 years old, and when I started reading about this guy with blue face, I was like, what is this Smurf BS in my Star Wars? My first reaction as a kid was like, what? And then as it went on, it was good. And I'm like, what's this other fool's name? Pelion? How do you say this name? And I was
Pelion?
Yeah, Pelion. And I was like, but I'm like 10. So I'm just like, Pillion? What is this? I give up. But yeah, it was a good time.
I know.
It was a good time reading that. That was the first book I ever read, probably.
Yeah, I think I have some Talon Card nickname stuff out there somewhere on the internet.
Yeah. He's a character I would like to see them reinterpret in a good way. I remember the first time I watched Mandalorian, and when the episode where Mando gets with this old gang and they enter that ship and there's the old grizzled dude. At first I was like, wait, okay, no, it's not. I thought for a second maybe they were taking that there.
Yeah.
But Bearded Trio says you can show up. My wife recorded there with her choir 2 years ago. It's in Monmouth. Well, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I make music all the time. Like that's what I do that's my hobby outside of this hobby. And I just make my little punk music or whatever you want to call it. So maybe I'll maybe I should look and see how much it costs to record there, and I'll just go there and do some locals there just to say I did it. Dream accomplished. But Lars did voices for Rebels, didn't he? Did he?
Yes,
He did.
Yeah, he did. That's why
Who was he in Rebels? Do you recall?
He was Thrawn.
Oh, okay. Oh, he was Thrawn in Rebels. Okay, and that's why people are saying
He was logically in the running to do the role.
Right. See that it's funny because it's like on one hand, it makes me go, of course he's not going to be it. Like just like Ashley Eckstein isn't going to be Ahsoka in live action.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, he's maybe one of the few exceptions where that could still be the case.
Oh.
Happy 4th of July, Mr. Papas. You have to come on here and join me pretty soon. So that way I don't just get to make bad jokes at you like, hey, watch your wallets. It's this guy, Come on the show so I can make jokes at your face. Mark Hamilton's all, do you know Kingsley? Oh yeah, Kingsley owes him $5. I'm good friends with Nick Bryan, who engineers at Rockfield. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, see, you guys are all a bunch of little musical people. We should start a band. We'll have our Star Wars band. And for reference, Rockfield Studios is a few miles away from Puzzlewood, where they shot The Force Awakens, Green Forest World, Rey and Kylo. Yeah, I remember I covered the Puzzlewood shoot extensively. That was one of those. I think for somebody who's never been there, I probably said Puzzlewood more times in my life, and than I should have. And I remember like a couple of weeks ago, my kids were watching it, and I thought about Puzzlewood, and I was like, Puzzlewood, I need to go there too. So there we go. We are making my vacation. Did I just lose Thrawn? Maybe he went to Puzzlewood. I don't know, but I'll see if I could add him back in here in a minute if he had a problem. Anyways, Vermont says that one young male actor kept taunting himself as Ezra, and it ended up going to someone else. Yeah, see, number one, I don't know. I loosely followed that stuff. In the past, I've had agents tip me off that a character was going to be in Star Wars. And what they would do is they would tip me off. I'm going to make it up. It's not Thrawn. It was never Thrawn, but let's just say it's Thrawn. They'll be like, hey, you might want to know this. Thrawn is going to be in Star Wars. And one of my clients is up for it, and we think he's going to get it. So what they will want me to do is go and say, Vermont Mike is going to be Thrawn in Star Wars. And it's not going to happen. The agent already knows it's not happening. But what happens is I run that story, and then everybody else starts copying it and talking about Vermont Mike as an actor. And then Marvel or whoever, no, well, not Marvel, but you know what I mean, DC or something will goes, oh, we need to get Vermont Mike. He's going to be hot. We should go for him. Yeah, let's definitely do it. They see something, we see something. And so that's what they hope will happen. That hasn't happened in a while, but it's happened in the past. So when you hear about somebody putting themselves out there, it's either a pipe dream, in my opinion, or it's that it's not happening and they want to make it seem like it is for that very reason. So, but I'm very cynical about that stuff for what it's worth. So I'm just going to be upfront about it. I don't know if when you're actually up for something, you are under NDA from the moment that you start talking. So that means he was just putting himself up there. You know what I mean? He was just throwing himself into the mix. So anyways, Novel Thrawn is an amazing character. Rebel Thrawn was just okay. Yeah, I felt like that's where I feel like there was sort of a disconnect in the sense that there was a little bit of telling and not showing. And you also like have to have the bad guy who's just like, oh, I'm going to get those rebels. I'm going to find them. What are they up to now? And so when you put somebody like Thrawn in that role, you start to go like,
too Skeletor.
Yeah. It's like you want what you really want is you don't want to see Thrawn the whole time. you want to see like Doug, you want to see Doug fail and then the big guns show up. Like just like when the Inquisitors failed and Darth Vader shows up. You want that, I think, from the leadership for the most part, unless there is actually some kind of personal conflict and turmoil between the characters that play. And that's the weird thing about Thrawn, is it's never been too personal for him.
No. He's more committed still to his own chiss, I think, people than he is to anybody else.
Exactly. It's not, and so that's where, if I was to redesign Thrawn or make a suggestion, it would be there has to be a way of making it personal for them, and maybe Ezra and Thrawn being in this I don't know what you call it, interdimensional place. Maybe that's where they have to work together and figure out how to eat in there. How do you eat in there? I don't know. Do you just put your hand through and hope that you get a pizza? I don't know. But hey, Roger, how's it going, dude? Kwai John says, I mean, Filoni's Thrawn series was very different than Zahn's Thrawn.
Oh yeah, so it was totally different.
Yeah, it was.
It had to adapt to the series.
Yeah, and it's in a different position. Well,
yeah, he was.
Oh, something in the background's coming in really loud, by the way.
All right.
But, yeah. So, happy birthday, America, says Roger. The Bearded Trio says Michael Sheen as Thrawn would be awesome. Michael Sheen, yeah. There's like so many good actors who could be Thrawn, and that's what makes me like confident in that very thing. And just because his name is Thrawn, we are having a Thrawn conversation today. I did not expect that, but Rebels Thrawn had his hands tied. He couldn't really win. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like when you look at Thrawn and Rebels, he's within the power structure, having to work out. There he is, having to work out everything, having to work out exactly, what he wants to do with his life, if you will. And whereas later on, he has all the power. So Lars is a legit actor, unlike Ashley. I don't know if I would take that from. I mean, Ashley is an actor, but you are.
She's a legit voice actress.
Voice actor, and yeah, but you're not wrong. I mean, she was like a Disney Channel kind, caliber of actor. But when it comes to Star Wars, you never want to count out the acting ability, because it is such a spectrum. It's
a broad brush.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like honestly, this will probably make someone mad somewhere, but like Mark Hamill in the original trilogy is very much like Pollyannish, and like whoa, it's not that far from his Little House on the Prairie acting.
Well, okay, my one thing that I always thought is Phantom Menace is Jake Lloyd.
Whoopee!
So he comes home and he's like, Mom, I'm home. But then he's been living with Shmi, who talks with an accent like this. And so wouldn't you be? And then he works for Watto, who's got a Trodroian accent, which is terrible.
Yeah, and completely. Yeah, it's all over the place.
It completely just takes me out of the scene, and I'm just like, why would he speak like that?
I stopped asking that question after I saw Highlander, and
but he explains why, though, because he was from Spain, and then he was a court like liaison. That's why he didn't speak Scottish or whatever.
It is what it is. I will say, though, to Jake Lloyd's credit and to the casting of Jake Lloyd, there are moments in Phantom Menace where he is legit a kid.
Yeah, no,
like when Qui-Gon picks him up, and there's little moments where Jake Lloyd didn't have a problem being a boy, being a little boy, and that goes a long way, because like the kid who everybody likes from the casting video that you see on the beginning documentary, who's a good actor in it, but a very still a bit of like a Full House TGIF Friday, whatever, sitcom kid. I don't think that kid could have done what he did in those moments. And it's like one of those situations where you're like, man, if somebody else had said, George, we need an acting coach, and acting does matter, I think you would have had a great performance from him. Like I think from Jake Lloyd, I think he would have rocked it. And I don't think he did a bad job. I just think he did what he was told to do, how he was told to do it, and that's what you got, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, acting is weird because I still Revenge of the Sith is still my favorite Star Wars movie, which I pretty much say every day because I just feel like I have to for some reason. But it's the acting in the prequels bothered me a hell of a lot less until we got to this point now where we have very, very good acting in Star Wars, though, like constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I watch Phantom Menace, I haven't watched it in like 6 months or something. Then you're like, whoa, what?
This is kind of wooden.
Now it feels way more wooden because they really put so much life in the acting, even with such an emphasis that it, like in Force Awakens, that I think like the story suffered in the sense that they were just about building the characters, you know.
Yeah,
and,
and
and which is fine. It was in the end it was fine. It was sort of a remake, but at the end of the day, it gave us better character from that.
well, I think that's why a lot of people tend to like Rogue One too a lot more, is because you got Felicity Jones and what's his name? I can't Diego Luna, and just they're just charismatic, just on the screen. You can't deny it, and they had just a wonderful ending to it. It just kind of it was a little perfect kind of envelope of a thing for you to watch for Star Wars, and like you were saying, it does make that bar a little bit higher for the next group.
Yeah, because like you'll see somebody in the prequels, and once again, I love the prequels, you guys, but you'll see somebody walk into frame from the prequels, and you don't feel like they're busy.
They're
They're
just
kind
there.
of like they're just showing up. And like when you watch Diego Luna in Rogue One, I'm always like, what's he up to? What's he doing? Like he feels busy, and therefore it feels like there is a momentum in
Well,
the performance from that.
you could feel that he is always in a rush and he's always on edge because he never knows who's going to drop on him or who's going to turn on him and what he's going to have to do next. I mean, because how many, let's say how many other messengers did he have to shoot in the back?
Yeah, no, me and my son, we were watching Rogue One a few weeks ago now, and there was that moment, and we had to pause, and we had to have the talk, and and we had to break it down, and I'm like, it sucks. At the end of the day, this guy is going to get captured, and he's going to get tortured, and he's going to spill the beans, and everybody's going to get killed, and the Death Star is going to be completed, and everybody's going to die. So he's having to murder this one man, which is not really right, but it's for the greater good. And he's just like, whoa, man. Has me like, he's like, I'm 7, dude.
Dad.
And I'm just like, hey, dude, I don't know what your future holds because this year's been crazy. Who knows where this world's going? You may be the space Diego Luna one day, and you're gonna have to do what you have to do. but yeah, no, it's but I like, that whoever came up with that, I don't know if that was a Gary Whitta moment, but whoever, or a Gilroy moment, but whoever came up with that moment, that was, I think, that you could feel that scene through the rest of the whole film. I think it might have been a Gilroy moment because most of that planet was reshot and rewritten during the reshoots, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, okay. Bearded Trias has a question. So random. July 4th question: if you had to tie a Star Wars figure to a firework and blast it into a million pieces, which figure would you choose? For me, last 17 Imperial Dignitary. Why? Why did we need this? Okay. Up front, I'm going to work this back a little bit. I will say, as a kid, I got what I called Shuttle Tidarium for Christmas in 1987. So
that's a good toy.
It tells me my dad found it on the clearance thing. he always went shopping on Christmas Eve, so nobody wanted it, even though it was a badass toy.
Oh yeah,
And by then, but that's when I got it,
it's the best Lego.
and I got that is a good thing. And I my Imperial Dignitary was much appreciated at that time. That said, as a spoiled clearance bin kid, I agree. Which character? What do you want to go first? Do you have yours already?
No, you go.
Okay, so I will just take it out to who I did that to as a kid, and that was the Rancor Keeper without his head thing and his weapon. When it's just this guy looking at you on camera, hanging out. And I was just like, why do I want this, man? And I wanted to blow something up because I was all about it. I was a little Beavis as a kid, and I was allowed to have a lot of fireworks when I shouldn't have. But yeah, how about you? If you, I mean, you could, it doesn't have to be vintage. It could be a Zuvio.
Oh, which I do have, by the way.
Who's a great design too. So I wouldn't do Zuvio.
No, for me, it actually is a vintage figure too, and it is the Cloud Car driver.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I wasn't the biggest fan. Now I'm more of a fan, and I actually wish that they did have a Black Series Cloud Car driver, because I mean they've made the AT-AT and AT-ST. I mean, good lord, give me this one. But yeah, back then I was not a fan, so I had a pool. So he spent a lot of time in the bottom of the pool. And at one point, I didn't have a firework per se. It was more that he got melted.
I always liked the figure because of like the goggles. I don't know why. To me, that was just cool. But it took off since then. But I was collecting vintage Kenner stuff before the foreign figures really caught on. And I loved the Lily Letty Cloud Car Pilot because his gloves are like bright yellow.
Oh yeah, okay.
It almost looks horrible, but it looks rad displayed next to like the other one. It's like so vibrant. So yeah, but that was a good question. I like that one. And I'm trying to think, man. Like, God, I used to play with my Star Wars toys. I love to play with them in the mud.
Oh, I could never take them outside.
Really? Yeah. I had like my AT-AT and my Rebel Troop Transport and all that stuff like outside. Everything that I played with in the mud and left out in the sun, some of it I still have today. It's yellow.
Sunbaked. Oh yeah,
it yellowed that stuff like quick.
Yeah, no. The only thing I had is my Falcon. I had the Falcon from '81, the '81 Falcon from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
and that some figures and a couple of things like that. But those are the only big massive toys from Star Wars that I have.
I have a photo of me getting my Millennium Falcon on my 4th birthday. I'm like,
I think I've seen that photo.
Yeah, I've probably shared it 300 times. I'm like, it's like one of the rare photos I have of me as a child at that age and with the Millennium Falcon in it. But yeah, that was probably the best birthday I ever had. I've had people do really nice things for me on my birthday.
Yeah, same here.
But you can't beat getting a Millennium Falcon and a bunch of, and it was Return of the Jedi, but once again it was clearance bin time. So I pretty much got like all of the Empire Strikes Back figures. I think my mom later on told me that they were like $1. They were like clearanced for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, they usually
And
okay.
And yeah, I remember as a kid I was 3 turning 4, and my allowance was $3 because that's what a Star Wars figure cost. So every week, if I did what I was supposed to, didn't get in trouble, I go down to the store called Gemco, GEMCO, I believe, and I would buy my one figure. And it goes to show you what a little nerd I was from the very start, because I would buy Boba Fett and R2-D2 over and over again just because I liked the package, but I would open it. So I didn't get that I really wanted to keep it closed, but I love the production photography. And so I would see that and I would be like, well, mine would always get messed up and the sticker would get messed up because it would go in the bathtub or something. And I would see it looking all vibrant and I would rebuy it over. And like a lot of times if I didn't see one I had to have that was new, I would do that. It was really weird. So yeah. So Dell says, it's not that kind of show, kid. If you're worried about your hair getting swallowed after getting swallowed by a Dianoga, we're all in trouble. Yeah, exactly. It is something where I think the recipe for Star Wars is young people can be crap actors. Older people need to be venerable actors who deserve way better in life but aren't getting it anymore. So they're down. So they're down to do a space movie to keep the lights on and class the joint up for us. You know, it's not so bad today, I think, as it used to be for certain actors. Like today, it seems like maybe a little bit better. Like Liam Neeson, who really is at the age now where he would be the Obi-Wan character. He's doing an action movie every year, getting paid.
Yeah, every one of them starts with the movie The.
Pretty much. So, all right. Wait, did I lose the spot again? Neil says, don't forget John Wynn, Donnie Yen as Baze and Jura. Those guys have charisma. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Totally.
You know, in a lot of ways, like I'm in no way saying that Rogue One wasted anything, but everybody kind of had to die, and it's just such a shame because like I still think that they could do more with those guys. Like those guys could have been having adventures for 10 years, and they're just such an odd couple, and the chemistry is there that
exactly.
I wouldn't mind if they had another series about them doing whatever the Church of the or what are they called, the Church of the Wills?
Church of the Wills, yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of that and like having a story with them and a Star Wars martial arts. Like that's great.
I mean, even Forrest Whitaker's little just parts are great in that movie.
Yeah. Oh man, I could probably never get her to do it, but my 6-year-old daughter, she does a really great Forrest Whitaker where she comes up and she goes, "You're trying to kill me." Like when she does it though, she goes, "Me?" Like she like does it. It's hilarious. I'm gonna try to get it on film one of these days. Every time I try to film it, she doesn't let me. So Dell says there are two possibilities though. You can have a time jump, or there's an iconic shower installed on every door in Star Wars. You can work in a trash compactor and walk out looking great. Yeah, right.
Slick back hair.
Yeah. Perfect. Have we ever seen bathing in Star Wars? I mean, that's a weird question, but you know, it doesn't have to be.
I think the closest thing is probably Finn walking around in that bubble suit.
Yeah.
Or Luke in the bacta tank.
Yeah. Then after they took that swim in the Naboo Otogunga Ocean. Maybe that's a Star Wars. Maybe then we did cowboy baths. Oh, dude, you're right. Mark Hamilton has won. That is the right answer. General Madine was a crap action figure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I heard
fuck your beard, man. I hate it.
the actor had to have the beard put on because they had made the figure before.
Dude, the thing looks like a merkin.
Yeah, it does. It's very bizarre. And his hair was outdated for 1983. Like it was even weird then, I think.
I think the Partridge Bus left him off somewhere, and he's just like, "Oh, what's this? Space? Right? A space bus? I'm gonna get on."
Did you ever hear about why he even exists?
No, please tell me.
He exists because you never know if a puppet's gonna work, and Admiral Akbar may not have worked. So they even filmed all of Akbar's scenes with General Madine
saying all those things.
Mm-hmm. So that way, if it was just killing the momentum of the movie, if this fish man was
this lobster hand can't get it done.
Yeah, if you don't want your movie led by a beloved lobster someday, maybe you're gonna want that. So the Lego guys wouldn't have done it. They would have just got fired. So Bearded Trio says, I like the Cloud Car driver. Love the helmet. Yeah, me too. He was always a weird one as a kid though. Like I remember because back when we only had the pan and scan VHS, watching Empire and being like, is this figure in any way correct? I'm like, okay, I could see the helmet, but I was like, you know what? I think this outfit canon. That's essentially what I was saying in my head.
I don't think it is.
It probably is now. I mean, when we watch Bad Batch every single week, you see our Hammerhead figure from 78 with that weird jumpsuit. My daughter saw that on Bad Batch and she goes, why is that guy wearing a ladies bathing suit? And I was just like, don't judge. And I paused and I pulled up the mom. This was one of my favorite toys as a kid.
He identifies.
I thought he was for a time, I thought he was part tree. I essentially thought he was OG Groot.
OG Groot, huh?
Because like when you like see like his legs, like how they go and stuff, and he was like the plastic he was cast in. For a time, I thought maybe he was part tree and part shark, and I was like, these Star Wars creators are genius crazies.
That's what the little Jawa feet look like. They look like little Groot feet.
Yeah. Oh, also to go back to Lily Letty stuff, I had the Lily Letty Jawa, and that one had which was the Mexican Kenner line, and it had the cloak went on, but they didn't the top part wasn't sewn on, so you could just take it off. It was just weird. I don't know. I loved it though. It was sort of.
I think I have that same one too, because where it comes off.
Yeah, it comes off on the like it's like two pieces of cloth. You mean?
I think so. Yeah, but I have to look at my other jar. But I have this guy right here, sitting here.
Oh wow, yeah. See, when I was at the Ugnaughts, when I was into variant collecting, man, I had about 9 of those because that smock it changed all the time.
Because if it's too new, then you know it's not right. But this nice and faded.
It's probably right.
It's right.
Yeah. Wait. I missed Mark. Mark says, "Don't diss Zuvio." No shit. He has his own museum. The Zuvium.
No, man, I don't diss Zuvio. He was my first Black Series I ever bought.
It's a tour you need to seek out. That's awesome. No. I wish that if they would do something with him. Like he looked cool. He wasn't cut for any reason of his own of a design failure.
Zuvio and the Knights of Ren.
Right? Yeah, man. I want them to make a Mortal Kombat game and him to be like the Raiden. Whatever. Neil C says
it's a battle of the hats.
Yeah. Neil C says the power of the Force steroid Luke and Han figures were just ridiculous. They really were.
Yeah.
It's weird to think how thirsty for Star Wars I was that I was just like, well, I don't agree with it, but I'm just happy it exists at all. And in my head, I remember going, maybe they'll just keep scaling it down. Maybe it'll just keep I mean, and the worst was Princess Leia, because she looked like Anthony Kiedis. She was like under the bridge. True. She was under the bridge.
Minus the tattoos.
Yeah, if you just drew some tattoos on her, what I guess you gotta give it to your mama, and you had it going right there. I think at one point on MTV, I even saw him with Princess Leia buns, and
he would do that with his hair. Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. So it's like somebody was a fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, I was glad that it pretty quickly though they started really, really like scaling that back pretty quick. It just kind of sucked that we had to like start there. But that first Falcon that they made from that line, in a weird way, I totally loved more than the original, because it was like it has all of the nostalgia of the original, because it is, but it has a badass paint job on it. And even though they've made like solid Falcons that are huge and stuff that I was always hoping to get on discount and never could, so I just didn't get it. But that Power of the Force 95 Falcon, I do not I respect it. I don't diss it.
Fair enough. I imagine that a lot of the toy ones, they're just they're more expensive than the dolls.
Yeah, oh yeah. Dude, those like those that AT-AT that they made at Toys R Us, that's like to scale or whatever.
Oh
Like
Jesus,
I wish I had that. Like it's
that's
weird. I know, but I know if I had it, I would hate it. Like the whole time, I'd just be like, "Where am I supposed to put this thing?"
what am I doing? Get off there! Get
Yeah,
down!
yeah, I just get tired of looking at it. That like, or it being where it is and having to dust it and all that jazz.
And you figure like, well, eventually you're gonna have a TV on top of it or something like that.
Eating top ramen off it during a pandemic because you don't want to go to the grocery store.
All right, kids, come on, Penny, come on, Luke, get in there.
Come on, this the whole family. Let's go. Google Zuvium and you'll find the link. Okay.
When you end up on Venice Beach out there with everybody else, you don't have a tent.
So he says steroid Leia was the worst. Yeah. And then they followed it up with Bouche or Bausch Leia.
Oh yeah, the Bausch figure
was awesome, but it only came on a Shadows of the Empire card, which I was mixed about, and then the thermal detonator was like stuck in the hand. And I'm just like, why do you keep doing this to me? And little did I know that by 1999, I would have about 25 Han Solos and 25 Lukes, all because, this one has a rocket pack not seen in the movie, but your dumbass, who is a teenager working a gas station job, will work 40 hours to buy this. Why? Why, Jason? Why did you do that? But one time I made it work for me. One time I met a girl and I told her I had the sexiest Star Wars collection that she's ever seen. And for some reason that worked. So I can't knock it, I guess. There are ways of making it work. Neil C says she wasn't she? Yeah. Oh yeah, another side story. I think I shared this on the podcast before. But this is so in 1999 I had a girlfriend, believe it or not. And we had been together since 8th grade. This was like we were like ending 8th grade, we got together. So all through high school. Then she goes to UCLA, right?
Oh, falutin'.
And as that happens, of course, she is not going to stay my girlfriend. If anybody here has a girlfriend going away to college, she will not stay with you. Go live your life. Just call it a day and have a good time. So, anyways, though, we're friends today, by the way, for what it's worth. But Phantom Menace is coming out, and that's kind of like the end of our relationship. Phantom Menace. We're doing stuff. She was into Star Wars too. I got her like this fancy Padme watch.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I should have known it was over. Two reasons why. I got her a fancy Padme watch, Queen Amidala watch. It was pretty cool. Still holds up to this very day. You'll see it actually going on Etsy for like, $90, something like that.
All right.
And she gets me Sebulba boxers. Sebulba boxers, right?
Wow.
So I have Sebulba boxers now. And it just goes into the rotation of boxers. I don't think anything of it. And I'm an inexperienced young man in the world for the first time with no girlfriend, living my life. Me and Randy are going to parties with 22-year-old girls. We can't believe it. And needless to say, it worked out for me. And I get back to my house and I get straight up laughed at for wearing Sebulba boxers. She sees my boxers and she just starts laughing at my boxers.
They worked.
I mean, it didn't kill anything. It still worked out for me that night, but it was only that night. And I oftentimes I started to wonder, like in my self-doubt at the time, did she get me these Sebulba boxers and then see me in them and then think, what an idiot, and then break up with me? And then did I go on and carry that Sebulba boxer legacy into another encounter?
Probably dwelling on it too much.
It was 1999. What else are you gonna do? You could barely use the internet back then. You had like 44 hours just to watch the Phantom Menace trailer.
Yeah, that's true. And then dial-up sucked.
And then if they had live streams right now, you would hear like a parent jumping on, going, Thrawn, I need to use the phone. You'd hear that through your internet modem, all distorted.
What's this IOL? What's this?
Man, I wonder what happened to all of those AOL CDs. There were so many back then.
My wife still uses AOL Mail.
Really?
Yeah, it's but I don't think she ever goes on there. But
yeah,
she uses the mail still.
That's pretty amazing. I remember too. I could follow up my horrible, embarrassing Phantom Menace run of things by at my gas station job in '99. Met a really cute girl, and this is still like when AIM is everything. Like you're gonna get phone numbers, but you're gonna
do AIM. Yeah.
I need to close this. I have this weird light shining on me. And anyways, whoa, creepy, scary.
Woo, look at you! It's like a Saw movie.
All right, it's a little dark. But we'll just roll with it. No, it's still getting me. Whatever. Anyways, my AIM name back then was. Are you ready for this?
Go for it.
Jason the Pod Racer.
Well,
why did I do that?
Well, I have a worse one.
What was it?
Well, I was a big fan of a very beautiful actress by the name of Sandra Bullock back then. And so my screen name was S.A. Bullock 1.
Wow. Okay. I'm still going to guess, though, that if you were in my position and the girl said, what is your AIM name? She'd be like, oh, I love Miss Congeniality. You should come over and watch it.
Right.
Whereas mine was, I like, she was like Jason the Pod Racer.
What is that?
She was just like, no, she knew. It was, I could just see.
Like, okay.
I could just see, like I was up here.
The stone face.
I was up here, and I saw myself fall down to here. I saw it happen. But yeah, and what's up, dude?
Oh,
knocked out. Force punch. Yeah, the Gemco aisle was the shit. That is the Gemco Star Wars aisle was the best.
Yeah, we don't think we ever had those out here. We just have Toys R Us and was it KB Toys? Yeah, those are the only like real toy stores we had out here when I was growing up.
Yeah, it was. We had we had KB, we had Toys R Us, and we had Gemco, Best, Sears sold figures too. He's going down. So okay, Frog Lady to a bath. Frog Lady did take a bath. Neil, your Star Wars brain is unparalleled. Good job, dude. Yeah, definitely. Wait, did I? Can I hear you, Thrawn?
Yeah, I could.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you for a second.
No.
Okay, so Josh says, where do you think Vader Kenobi fight will happen in Kenobi? I'm hoping that Kenobi finds out Vader is Anakin and that he has a castle on Mustafar, and Kenobi goes to Mustafar to turn or kill Anakin.
Well, I think it's going to be more of like a series of light brushes of interaction between them to keep the plot and story going. I don't think you're going to give a large fight early on or even towards the end of a first season. I think what you're going to end up at the end of first season is maybe them coming to a confrontation, and then the beginning of season 2 is them actually maybe having a little bit of a brush of a fight.
Well, they've said that it's a limited series, so that is not a promise of a second season.
Okay, so then
for what it's worth, yeah.
Then we'll probably see something towards the end. I don't think you're going to see it in the beginning.
Yeah, I think we're going to see those Inquisitors going after him, just like in Rebels. Inquisitors keep going, then Vader shows up, and once they identify that it is Kenobi, that's when Vader gets up off the pot and goes after him.
Yeah, he'll have to. Kenobi will find some spot to stay, and then Vader will show up there, and they'll kind of have their little moment.
Yeah, and you know, you in the prequels you didn't get a lot of that, like, you know, Obi-Wan once thought as you do kind of stuff. You don't get a lot of that.
No,
he's a little bit like, dude, are you serious, man?
Right?
We were brothers, man. And then they burns him up. And so yeah, the Obi-Wan once thought as you do thing this can be it. This can be that fight. Yeah. And it works so well though when he does say, you know, the you were my brother moments are easily one of the most emotional moments of that trilogy. And so I'm curious to see what happens, how that plays in the hands of another filmmaker.
Yeah, I think definitely, because if they can get that connection right that those two had, I mean, I like the way they two play off each other. I mean, they did have some chemistry that way. But I can say, that's all I can say is just I want to look forward to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hope that we do. I do hope it comes down to the actual action. I hope it's like Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan versus Rogue One, Darth Vader in that fight.
Okay, yeah.
Because like that intensity with the come back to me, come back to the good side, stop what you're doing, all that. That could really be one of the better fights we've ever seen. If
that's true, yeah.
If they were to like do that,
yeah, inject a little bit more of the dramatic into it, yeah.
And it might actually end up helping out the original trilogy in the sense that if you watch
it out.
Kenobi, yeah, what if you're watching Kenobi the whole time and then Luke goes to do what he goes to do, you might think, I don't think it's going to work. Like it might make you think that more than you currently do because you just watch that, you know it's going to work. But it might kind of like when you're really paying attention, you're really in it. It may enhance it. That's my hope anyway.
Hey, Griddle Marks is here. Mark says hi. What's going on in here?
Griddle Marks, who I thought was Sweetmeats for a few. Wait, where did he go? Oh, there he is.
How's Idaho?
What's going on here? Let me guys keep it up. What's up, dude? Yeah, we should definitely have you in here on one of these days, so that way we could share embarrassing Star Wars stories, because I know Mark has some too.
He's got some good, and then I love his music reviews. I mean, I love his music talk. So any kind of soundtrack stuff, I love that. Get down with him on.
Yeah. Mark is one of the few people I know where it's like when he drops something about the soundtrack, it's going to be interesting and it's going to be something that I didn't know.
Exactly.
And that's when I knew we needed to be friends. And I miss when he lived down here, because we used to go to Chinese buffet sometimes, and Chinese buffet is not the same without you. I'll tell you that much. Josh Stickles says, what do you think the Vader Kenobi fight? We already did that one.
Yeah.
Dale says Solo, Han and Chewie in the shower. Dude,
that was a hose off, I guess. Yeah. So
yeah, no, that's a dude on dude shower. And that's a couple of dudes taking a shower together. That happened. And so between the shower scene in Solo and Frog Lady, I think we got bathing.
You got it down. You got it down, I think. Yeah.
This show is breaking ground and answering the questions that the fans want to know.
These are deep rooted questions.
It's not about spoilers. It's about what can't we recall because we partied too hard 10 years ago. Hey, Shogun Orda. Yes, on Solo with Chewbacca. It's true. Neil says, I still dream of walking into toy stores and seeing the wall of Kenner figures and ships, being in complete awe. then sometimes there's things that never existed and you freaking dream. Dude, I have that dream all the time. And you know why I have that dream is because in 1989 Batman was out, and I had a kind of a rocky relationship with my birth mother, but it was one of the few times I was like staying with her for a summer for the most part.
Yeah.
And she gives me $50. She's kind of like trying to buy my love, if you will, I guess. And she gives me $50 and she's like, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I think I bought the Back to the Future video game, Back to the Future 2 and 3, not 1. It was just as shitty. It was no better. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And I had like about $20 left. We go to the 99-cent store and I'm just like walking around and they had these red carded, it was jewelry, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, like C-3PO gold, like his bust. And I just bought them all. I was like carded Star Wars stuff. I ended up selling that stuff like periodically for a good $20 a pop or something like that later on. So it wasn't bad. But that dream or that moment has given me this dream where I am at a 99-cent store and there's all these Return of the Jedi carded figures. And in my dream, though, I don't have the money on me. I have, because like I left my debit card at home, or I get paid tomorrow. It's always, and I'm always like, do I have this dream sometimes I'm like insecure about money or something? Like, why do I have this dream? And it never actually makes sense. It's just my brain going, wouldn't it be cool? And then what's your anxiety about what would happen if you were in that situation? And I'm like, so in my dream, sometimes I'm like taking the figures and I'm like hiding them up on like behind piñatas and stuff at the 99-cent store. So that way I could come back tomorrow and like uncover them all. It's so weird, but
no, I that's how I just got my last. I got the Black Series Return of the Jedi Boba Fett that just came out, and I was walking through Walmart, and the one here it never has anything. It's always picked through because
right.
But I guess this person they thought they were just going to throw it in this pit of balls, like the rubber balls. I just happened to say like, what's that? And so I like looked in there. I was like, oh shit, Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. Like, I've been looking for this. It's like, hell yeah, I'll snag that thing for sure. But I worked for Toys R Us for a seasonal job. I think it was about 3 years ago. And yeah, living that dream of being able to stock the shelves with all the Black Series stuff and all the lightsabers and all that. And then they had the whole section of Star Wars with everything. The whole aisle. That was,
dude, I was like super bummed. I was super bummed when all the Toys R Us started closing up. But the only silver lining to it at all, which is not really one, was seeing people pull apart the shelves and find like sealed Super Mario Brothers 3 and stuff like that. Things that had been there for 20 years and 30 years in some instances. Like it was the stuff that they were finding that I was seeing on social media was pretty wild.
That'd be amazing.
Nothing Star Wars. I didn't see anything Star Wars, but it was always like, oh, here's Mario or something like that.
Yeah, a little tiny thing that would fall, huh?
He's all Bearded Trio's all Madine with this wonderful stick. Yeah, I know that like I was always like, what does he do with this stick? Is this like or
does it come out to like a walking cane? Like I don't know.
Like Alex from A Clockwork Orange is just like beating drunks with it and stuff.
some really gigantic pointer that he's made.
Oh man,
this is the hologram. I'm gonna point to where we need to go.
On a complete side note, I'm loving the soundtrack to Loki.
Oh, it is really great.
It reminds me of A Clockwork Orange, like the way that it uses like the synth in that really weird dramatic way.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I want to.
The last episode was really good.
That was it was really good. Like I said before, it feels like really high quality Doctor Who.
It is. It kind of is in a way. I mean, you're, in all sense and things, you're going to compare these types of shows to the other ones that we watched, and I think it really is kind of a Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's great. Mark Hamilton says Crick Smadeen's dropping "It's a Trap." This wouldn't have landed. He's probably like, it's a trap.
No, I bet every time he said it, the beard fell
off. He takes off the wig. He's like, it's a trap.
We need another one. Come on, give me 3. I need 3 takes. Give me 1 hard one, 1 soft one, 1 low one.
It's a trap. So, I think your son just blew up the Death Star. He's like, woo!
Yeah, he's
all, the Zuvium is not a joke. Asen, it's legit. No, I totally believe you. I'm the Zuvium. All right, hold on. Zuvium. It's totally real. I see Fantatrax has a link to it. Let's see. Loading a little bit slow. It's about the man Constable Zuvio. New attraction, June 29th. Yeah, it's legit. There we have it. All right. Mark is on a lunch break. Love Idaho. How are the potatoes, Mark? Are you having potatoes for lunch? That would make sense, I think, that you were having potatoes. Neil says, I'm not convinced Vader and Obi-Wan will meet. If Vader knows Obi-Wan is out there, he'd stop hunting him. If Vader, I don't know. Because like I think Darth Vader before he knows Luke is there is a lot different. There he is. He's a lot. I think he's a lot different. I think my read anyway, and you're totally free to disagree, but my read is that when he knows his son's alive, he starts to remember Padme and who he was, and he starts to remember and confront love, not just loss. And unlike the Padme memory, which is I want to bring her back to life somehow now, that's what Vader Immortal sort of plays into a little bit. But it's still like that is rooted in pain. Whereas when his son is there, now his son's alive. Like it's a real.
Well, wasn't it always said that Vader was always kind of in conflict with himself? He never really kind of.
Yeah, I think that, but like, and this is my opinion, but I think that it like the George Lucas sort of point is it's like never too late to start to do the right thing, to fix the wrongs that you're doing. And with that, no one is ever truly completely evil. Let's just not think about Palpatine and forget about that for a little bit. But
yeah,
he's just the symbol of evil. But I think that's kind of like the idea behind it. So yeah, I mean, no matter what, it's not like when Anakin became Darth Vader, he had a memory wipe and he didn't remember and he couldn't identify with himself at all anymore. And it was like a complete like psychological breakdown. And he was built back up in this
like a replica or something. No,
yeah. So when they say like the good man is still in there, he there is still good in him because he was inherently a good little boy.
Yeah,
that's what it came down to, and that's one of the good things that Lucas did in that or in making that choice. I would agree that as a pop choice, bad idea to make Anakin 8 years old in The Phantom Menace if you want to make a highly successful movie that makes everybody happy and you become everybody's hero. But he was clearly not going for that. He didn't care. He thought this is going to make this emotionally resonate for me, so that's why he did that. And I think it was important to show Anakin in that purity for us to believe later on that he, of course, is that good guy, or is that good kid is there.
He's still in there, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's really like I mean it's weird. I feel like when you talk about anything critically on the internet, it's like it's perceived as bad. And I keep having to say, I want to reiterate, I love The Phantom Menace. I'm not knocking it. It's just that George Lucas makes batshit choices that I adore. At the same time, I totally acknowledge that they are utterly batshit insane. Like, they are the weirdest choices you could possibly make.
Hey, that's why I like John Woo, man. He does the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, I'm like, I know John Woo. I'm in no way have seen like a ton of his movies, but there's random, sort of like random stuff.
It just thought it because with this action and stuff, you never know what you're gonna get, and so it's always worth watching.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like, there's almost a perception that Lucas wasn't inspired. Whereas I would flip it around and say those batshit choices are very inspired.
Oh no, like I heard a story from an interview where on another podcast where a guy interviewed James Mangold, who directed Ford versus Ferrari, the movie. Well, he went and he talked to a lot of the old guys that were racers and stuff, and he found out that Lucas would crash on the couches a lot of these racers that were out there racing at the track up in Sonoma and stuff and down in LA. And he would, because he liked racing, but he really couldn't race himself. But that's where he got the idea of having everything being dirty and well used in Star Wars. But he, I forgot what else I was going to say about that.
Well, what you were going to say was it was on the couch of one of those racers smoking the devil's grass that he thought, Ben Quadraneros, that's a good idea.
Yes. So it's just he coming up with that's where he would get certain ideas. I think, like hearing him coming up with that was a pretty little tidbit that I caught.
Yeah, before the internet literally ruined the internet, Katie Lucas was on Twitter. And and she was just, you just talked to her. She talked about the Star Wars stuff she wrote. She was like accessible, and she was talking about like George Lucas filming these like rock concerts and stuff, like some like early jobs that he had, where like the Hell's Angels came and were like fighting people and stuff. And Lucas is like the cameraman at that time. So like Lucas has this whole like career that's just like you don't really hear about too much because they want to paint him as Walt Disney the whole time, but he was a little bit more counterculture than you would think, at least initially. But he ended up doing weird stuff like, God, did I see this on Bearded Trio? Maybe I did. I can't remember now. But where he shaved his beard to look like Michael Eisner during the Star Tours Captain EO launches. It looks weird, man. I'm like, put that beard back on, George Lucas. What are you doing? But Hamilton says 3PO took an oil bath in A New Hope. You son of a bitch. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Got it.
We know everything about bathing in Star Wars now. Everything. Or do we?
I think minus the underwear.
Right, minus the space underwear. Hey, Rakesh Patel.
How you doing, Rakesh?
Boba Fett, where? Blindly hits Fett's jetpack with stick, sending Fett flying towards the barge, crashing on the side, then falling on the Sarlacc pit. Yeah,
that is a great scene.
That is what happens when you
carry a faulty pack.
Well, it's what happens when your wife is cheating on you and you're supposed to kill Boba Fett and you just don't care about anything anymore. That's literally what happened too. It's like in the Rinsler book. It's like the equivalent of don't bother me, just throw him in the pit,
Get him in there.
Mating stick versus Yoda stick fight. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. If there's like no force powers involved, I'm gonna say that Yoda's osteoporosis does not stand a chance against the Mating death stick.
Yeah,
I do think he smokes out of that thing too. I think it is like literally a big death stick.
I think Mating's secretly like a mole with that stick. He's got those tall boots,
right? He takes it off and it's George Lucas.
Hey, got a Diet Coke?
There used to be a rumor back in like 96, I think, when they released the micro collection of Star Wars toys, that the TIE Fighter pilot in there, you could take off the helmet and it was George Lucas.
Really?
Yeah, and I always wondered. I never looked into it again. I just remembered right now. Was there ever any truth to that? I never got it. I never looked, but Yeah.
No, I never heard about it.
So who's the Dark Lord of the Sith? It's Palpatine all along. Yeah, like Agatha. God, that Agatha all along song was in my head for a good 4 or 5 days after I watched that. I both love and hate the fact that you brought it up because it's a damn fine song. At the same time, it does not leave my brain. Neil says, learning that like it's like a lot like Luke is alive changes Vader and brings him back to his Anakin personality. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, definitely potential for that.
Yeah, I think it's like the reminder, and I have to say, like, when you're trying to be like the Dark Lord of the Sith, like the most heavy metal dude of all time, right? And then you're like, oh, but I love my boy. You're probably like, man, that's not very metal of me. You know
I can't
what I mean?
do that.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Maybe I'm not that cool. Maybe I'm not like an Iron Maiden t-shirt inside. You know what I mean? And
I'm more like a 3 Doors Down or a Matchbox 20 shirt.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I'm like that one band. What's not? I keep wanting to say Everlong. What were they called? Father of Mine.
Oh, Everclear?
Yeah, I'm like Everclear. Everlong. Everclear. I really get what the guy was talking about now, and I think my son does too. By the way, don't look that song up if you're younger and you've never heard it. It won't do you any favors.
No.
But listen to Seven Mary 3. Don't do it.
No, that's cumbersome.
Have become cumbersome for my girl. God, I'm like the world's biggest Nirvana fan and Mudhoney, and I don't think Sonic Youth fits this bill, but Sonic Youth, and like the legacy of grunge is such a schlock. It's a joke. It sucks because it was, in my opinion, like one of the best things that ever happened to me, and where it went, it turned out to be Creed, arms wide open.
Yeah,
that was the path. Sometimes the road looks good,
well,
but it is.
Look. It's the perfect example is Stained. Their first album is beautiful metal, beautiful, gorgeous metal, and then he turned into Hootie and the Blowfish.
Well, Fred Durst had some ideas. He's like, "Yo, dude, I got a red hat. I mixed White Boy Vanilla Ice rap with metal. Listen to what I
don't. I know that. I lived in Fresno at the time where they paid that's one of the KRZR. That's the radio station they paid under the table to play counterfeit.
Mm-hmm.
And got in trouble for it.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because that was so common. They got busted because they were not bright. But from a certain point of view, everything I told you is true. It's true.
It's true. It's always true.
It's such a good like out on anything. Like, hey, did you eat that cheesecake that I put in the fridge? From a certain point of view, no. Did you do it?
From a point of view, I could have. I might have.
Yeah, Hasbro did make Stormtrooper Lucas. Was it Stormtrooper Lucas?
I think maybe now that he says it, I think so.
Because I remember George Sokol, the Celebration X-Wing fighter pilot Lucas. That's the one that I remember the most. But I don't doubt it. I bet you. I mean, if you're a real collector like I am, then you got Ben Burt Chewbacca, because they made a Ben Burt, and it's just like a Chewbacca but with Ben Burt's face on it. That's a real figure. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm not in that league.
Dale Erdman says that's actually a quote from POV podcast. Okay. Mark Hamilton says, and an X-Wing pilot Lucas. Yeah, that's the one that I remember. When you go to Star Tours, you will hear them say paging George Sokol or whatever it is. I think that's what they say. And yeah, and every time I'm like, hey, I know that, you guys. I know deep Star Wars knowledge. Who wants to be my friend? Rakesh says Stormtrooper Lucas. I call him the George Trooper. George Trooper. Yeah, that makes sense. But all right, guys, it is getting to be dinner time, and I have to get the barbecue started.
Same here.
Same. Yeah, I've kept you on for a little bit longer than I anticipated.
No worries, man.
For an hour, but I kept you for an hour and a half. But
no worries.
It was great hanging out with you on the 4th of July.
Same here.
Bummer that you don't live in the neighborhood, so you can't just come over to the barbecue. But when you're in the area,
just a little bit north of you.
Yeah, when you're in the area again, we'll have to hit up the Mando set. And
I will be down there in September around the 10th because I'm going to see Kygo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you're free, hit me up and
I'll hit you up.
We'll see what they got going on down there, because by then, when I say the Mando set, it's now the Obi-Wan set, and by then I'm hoping, it's probably not accurate, but I'm hoping it's the Ahsoka set. But yeah, and so where can everyone hear the pod?
You can find me at Thrawn Talk Podcast. I'm on YouTube, Thrawn Talk Podcast, and then myself, I'm at Thrawnkill on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you for the opportunity to be here. And folks, go to my YouTube channel because I have a new video out today with my interview with Dominic Pace from The Mandalorian, who played the Gecko Bounty Hunter. Nice. So check it out and like and subscribe. And I'll see you around, Jason, and we'll get the cast in again.
Yeah, dude, I will be hitting you up very soon in the future. And everyone else, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support the channel, you can become a channel member on YouTube. And I might have the Patreon back. I think I'm about to get the Patreon access back. I don't have that phone anymore. I got a different phone, and I just can't get in. So, but anyways, I might have it back. I think I'm in the process. So if anybody cares about that. But anyways, thanks guys. Have a good 4th. If you're not celebrating the 4th today, have a good rest of your weekend, whatever time it happens to be where you're at. Probably getting ready to go to bed, I would imagine. Have a good one. And thanks, dude. I'll see you guys soon.
See you.
It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships.